Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. So I've got some fantastic news, some lovely stories in this video. One you might need a tissue for, and then of course I've got some stories coming out about those two, but they are going where they belong, and that is towards the end of the video. So where to start off this video? Let's talk about the Prince of Wales, who was involved in another hugely successful fundraiser, and he appeared at RAF Northolt alongside the other half of the superpower couple. No, not this power couple, not that power couple, almost this power couple. Prince William and David Beckham are definitely an A-list team together, and they were celebrating a 16 million, it was meant to be 15, but they surpassed it, a 16 million fundraiser to replace 2 London Air Ambulance helicopters. David was asked to be the face of the Amaze House Prize raffle draw. Had to get my words, put my teeth in then. Those of you in the States, we've got a company that's everywhere now, and you can buy tickets online and you get the opportunity to win a multi-million-pound house. Well, David fronted the campaign for that, and it raised 4 million. Prince William also got another celebrity friend involved with the charity fundraising gala earlier in the year. You might recognise him. I reckon these three could be the Three Musketeers. The reach and the publicity, the combination of Beckham, Cruz, and then the Prince of Wales. I mean, I really think that they need to push to do something together. But getting back to David teaming up with Prince William and the Royal Foundation again, he's really likeable. He got a lot of stick years ago, all to do with the emails, to do with his knighthood. Some of you guys possibly know the story. For those of you that don't, the media really twisted what happened. David was told he was on the honours list. He was going to be made a knight. It was a done deal. Then he got told, no, sorry, you were turned down for it. And it was apparently due to snobbish reasons. So of course, David was pissed off, and in a private email, he ranted, what more have I got to do? Haven't I proved myself enough? So those emails got hacked. Then it got twisted by the media that David was throwing his toys out the pram because he was demanding to be made a knight. That's not what happened. He was, as far as he was concerned, on that list, and then they turned him down because he wasn't the right fit, not the right class. I think anybody would have been upset under those circumstances, and this was meant to be a private email to one of his advisors. It's not like he sent the email to the Queen saying, don't you know who I am? But of course the media twisted it. But as for David teaming up with Prince William and also the King, David is an absolutely fantastic person to be involved with any of the royal foundations. He is likeable, he is famous because of his skills and his talent, and he is, of course, himself one half of a super huge A-list couple that everybody is growing to love more and more. Lots of people changed their minds on David Beckham, or were always on the fence with him, when they saw that he queued alongside members of the public for 13 hours solid to pay his respects when the Queen was lying in wait. And honestly, seeing David as he paid his respects to the Queen, it was really heartbreaking, because you could tell that he admired and respected her late Majesty oh so much, and it was very obvious that the Queen had a soft spot for David as well. What I find funny now is that Meghan got Harry to terminate his friendship with David Beckham, as she made up those lies that Victoria was selling stories on her, because she saw David and Victoria's popularity as a threat, whereas the King and Prince William and Catherine see David for the asset that he is. This fundraiser is a perfect example, and when you think about it, David Beckham has shown more respect to Queen Elizabeth II in life, and also after her passing, to the King and Queen Camilla, to Prince William and Catherine, than what Harry has done for a number of years. But David and Prince William appearing together isn't just about the friendship that they quite clearly have. It's also an incredibly powerful combination of using royalty and A-list celebrity to do something good. The King does it and Prince William does it, and with the right celebrity, with the right audience, then when they come together, it is a powerful combination. The celebrity gets that stamp of royalty, which is great for them and their own charitable endeavours because it gives them an air of credibility. And then the royal family, they can then use the celebrity's platform and the audience that they reach globally to their advantage. They work alongside each other hand in hand. Where Harry and Meghan made the mistake is they're trying to turn royalty into celebrity. It will never, ever work, which they have slowly but surely begun to learn. Well, you'd like to think so at this point. But as for David and William raising this incredible amount of money with the help, obviously, of Tom Cruise and members of the public, it's not the only fantastic story that came out of this event. Whilst Prince William was there, he was speaking to several personnel and he learnt the story of a young photographer called Liz Hatton, who is just 16 years old. She has sadly been diagnosed with a very rare and aggressive form of cancer. And the doctors have said, unfortunately, because there is no treatment path for it, she has anywhere between months and a maximum of 3 years. Liz has said that she gave up her A-level studies because she wanted to pursue photography because it's what her passion is. And she's given herself a wish list of things that she would like to take photographs of. They involved taking photographs of models, having her photographs printed in magazines. She wants to take pictures of films and TV shows being done. And Prince William, upon hearing her story, within 24 hours, he contacted Liz and her family, invited them to Windsor, where she became the official and only photographer to take the photographs of Prince William's investitures yesterday, giving Liz an incredible opportunity to use her skills and her talents to capture what was a very special day for many. And an extra added special surprise, the Princess of Wales was there, obviously being touched by the young woman's story herself with her own cancer battle. And the thing is, nobody knew about it. The media were not told about it. This was a very, very special event and it was kept special for Liz and for her family. Kensington Palace gave credit as a couple of the photographs were released, but the copyright was given to Liz. These are all her photographs to do with as she wishes. And I love the fact that one of her wishes was she wanted her photographs printed in magazines. Because of this, her photographs have been printed in newspapers and magazines online all around the world. And I think that was an incredibly special and wonderful thing for the Prince and Princess of Wales to have done. And Catherine did not let anyone know that this was an appearance because this wasn't anything official. Her appearance was purely personal and it was to show her love and support to this incredibly brave young woman. And I'm sure now that this has been so well publicised and with the contacts that the royal family has, I'm sure she's going to have no problem with completing her photography wish list. And I really wish Liz and her family all the best. But what a beautiful story. And it doesn't end there. I've got another happy story for you, one where I'm not going to be welling up. We have the fantastic news, which I'm sure most of you do know about already. I'm a little bit behind. Princess Beatrice and Edo have announced that they are expecting a second child. Most of us got a little bit suspicious. Funnily enough, when she was wearing a denim shirt a few weeks back, there was just something about this photograph. She had that glow. It was the way she had her hands in front of her stomach. It was just something, but we were all right. And she is now expecting baby number 2, joining her sister, Eugenie, who has 2 little ones herself. Photographs were released by Edo and Beatrice, but then this beautiful one was shared by Fergie. And I love it. But Sienna, her daughter, she's bypassed her mum's ginger genes, she's bypassed her father's Italian genes, and she's decided, I'm going to go with my great-grandpa's genes. And this is, of course, a photograph of a baby Prince Philip. That gene is still incredibly strong, and we saw that being passed down, if you remember, Zara and Peter, when they were very young. They had the white hair as well. We've seen that being passed down with Zara and Mike's children, and it looks like it's skipped on over to Beatrice as well. Genetics is an amazing thing, and it's an exciting thing because you never really know. And that's why it's so sad how Meghan turned a conversation into something that was really nefarious with racist undertones. Nobody knows which side of the family their children are going to take after, and this proves it. But I'm sure that little girl, whilst they are much like Princess Eugenie, generally hiding their children's faces until they are older, I am in no doubts that that is one beautiful little girl. So a big congratulations to Beatrice and Edo. So let's talk about the fact that because we've had fantastic news from members of the royal family, Harry's been pushed off of the headlines. Not that he was making many anyway, because Meghan made sure of that by getting her Us Weekly comeback, where she forced, I think she forced members of her staff to give those glowing, over-the-top testimonials about the fact she's not a dictator in heels, she's not a demonic duchess, I think that's the perfect nickname for her now, and she does, in fact, walk on water. She is the kindest of kindness. She is practically Mother Teresa reincarnated. Obviously, that was a massive oversell. As I said, she really over-egged that pudding. But of course, because she did the clap back when she did, Harry got pushed off of what few headlines he was getting outside of social media. Harry, as I said in the last video, was doing that campaign, damage control. Let's pretend that I'm a working royal. Let's shove Meghan at the back. Let's try and trick the public into thinking that I am back to being Jack the Lad Harry. And I'm sorry, it's not going to wash. There's too much water under the bridge with the royal family and also with the public. I'm in no doubts that Harry is probably being advised by another crisis management team to try and help their beleaguered reputations. And I'm sorry, I think that ship sailed a long time ago. But Meghan has definitely been involved, I think, with flooding extra stories. We're hearing way too many stories coming out. There's apparently now a bidding war going on for Meghan's diaries. Meghan's going to do her big expose on the royal family. To be honest with you, I say bring it on. No one's going to believe her. Meghan's been caught out in far too many lies. She's got no credibility. Yes, she might get a big lump sum payment, and people will read it, they'll dissect it, and Meghan will get called out for lying over and over again. She can't keep up with her own lies. Harry and Meghan tell completely different versions of the same events as well, so she can't even keep up with what her husband says about her. And if anything, Harry's book Spare proved a lot of the things that Meghan had previously denied. So I say bring it on. We could do with a little bit of entertainment anyway. Now, some people are believing that the couple have actually split up and that's why he's doing this tour without her. No. Whilst, as you know, I believe that these two lead completely separate lives, but they only come together for certain events for their brands, I don't think that they've properly split, because when they do, I am pretty certain that fireworks will go off immediately. Even if Meghan is the one that decides to jump ship first, she is a narcissist and she is very vindictive. She will want to reputationally damage Harry immediately before he even has a chance to get on a plane to go beg his father for forgiveness. She will want to go public and she will come out with the worst allegations against him. I guarantee it. So at the moment, whilst I think there's definitely a shift going on, they might be divvying up what they're going to do. When those two do officially split, whether it's both of their choices or one of them, Meghan is going to go nuclear. Now, as for Harry, he has jumped from going to New York to then briefly in the UK. And before I even had a chance to film, bang, he was in Southern Africa, in Lesotho, boring them around a gathering to do with Centre Bali around a campfire. Honestly, I don't know what is wrong with Harry. He behaves so strangely. This little clip here, he's waving his arms around like he's trying to get an aircraft coming into land. He is flapping his arms around in that guy's face. I would get agitated with him at that point, probably grab his arm and slap him with his own hand. Now, whilst I believe that Harry holds Lesotho in a very special place in his heart, I can't help but feel he is just using them as part of his crisis management tour. The last time he was in Lesotho was roughly 6 years ago, and then all of a sudden, back to back, New York, well child, he's in Lesotho, and then he's even nipping over to Johannesburg in South Africa. This is all about Harry trying to repair his reputation, and he knows that the Lesotho royals love him and would welcome him with open arms. But Harry isn't that young prince anymore that they knew and loved. Harry is no longer the man that wanted to spend his life growing up in that country and called it his home from home. Harry has changed dramatically in recent years, and one thing is very apparent. he uses other people and even other countries, just like his wife does, to improve his own image and to elevate himself, and also to try and compete with his brother. It's pretty obvious why Harry's decided he's just going to nip on over to South Africa and Johannesburg when Prince William is due in Cape Town in a matter of weeks due to the Earthshot Prize. It's obvious that Harry is still desperately jealous over his brother and he's trying to compete with him, but he is still not grasping that the royal family and his brother, the future king, is the equivalent of the World Cup or the Super Bowl, whereas Harry is playing tiddlywinks. There is no comparison whatsoever between the two brothers with what they're trying to achieve and the things that they actually do. One is spending his time trying to improve the life of others, and the other, the younger one, is definitely just trying to improve his own image. Now that brings me on to a story I did mention in yesterday's video, and that is Meghan is concerned that Catherine and William are going to be encroaching on her turf. Why? What could Meghan possibly be upset about now? Oh, that's because the Archewell Foundation has now applied for a trademark in the United States. They will be taking their charitable projects stateside, and an insider says Meghan feels they would be in direct competition with Archewell. She's got to be off her rocker, she really has, to even think that the Archewell Foundation is any sort of competition to Archewell. They're not even playing the same game, they're not in the same league, they're not even in the same universe as each other. Catherine and William have created so many projects that have a huge positive impact on people's lives. They have teams of experts, task forces, international agencies, all signing up with them to make their projects work, to turn it global. They have years of planning behind everything that they do, ensuring that qualified and experienced advisors are always part of the process. Millions are raised to go towards various projects, charities, investments from countries all around the world get ploughed into these projects to make them a success, to make real change. The reach that the Archewell Foundation has alongside the King's Trust is truly incredible. They are a true force for change who dedicate their very privileged lives to helping to improve the lives of others. And then we have, of course, Archewell, which is little more than Harry and Meghan's personal PR company. They spend a lot of donations on expenses and give the bare minimum to the charities. This was the whole idea of setting it up in Delaware, where they only have to donate 5% and they can spend 95% on overheads. Then you've got the organisations that they tie themselves to, that they put on their impact statement every single year, which they've used organisations for their very own PR opportunities, for photo opportunities. Do you ever hear about Harry and Meghan doing charity galas, fundraisers, getting their rich friends to open up their checkbooks? No, you hear about Harry and Meghan using their rich friends for private jet journeys and for holiday homes, but I've never heard them raising any money for the Invictus Games. The Invictus Games, which has been turned into the Meghan Markle catwalk show that they even made money off of for themselves with their big Netflix payday deal. Harry and Meghan do mix with celebrities, but that's only to elevate and to promote themselves rather than organisations that they say that they help. Harry, as we know, preaches from his ivory tower about conservation, whilst he still, as I said, promotes African parks. They use other organisations' charitable good deeds to promote themselves. As I said, their impact statement is about the good work that other organisations do, but because Harry and Meghan made a donation, a teeny tiny donation at some point, they claim it as their own. Now, they don't just take credit for other people's charitable endeavours and other people's organisations. They like to collect awards rewarding themselves for their good deeds. In fact, I think Harry and Meghan have probably collected more awards for themselves than what they've actually ever handed out. Someone told me in the comments of yesterday's video that the Parents Network existed. It was created before. Harry and Meghan have come in and said they want to partner up with it. Well, I honestly thought, because of the marketing I've read, that they created it. No, they've taken someone else's initiative and basically said, it's ours now. They take foreign trips to countries that have extreme poverty, allowing taxpayers' cash to be spent on them whilst they are there, yet they do absolutely nothing for the countries themselves because they represent no one other than themselves. They preach about carbon footprints and climate change, going from event to event in private jets with a motorcade, a fleet of security vehicles following them, even when they just simply go out to dinner. They use other people's children as props all the time to make them look like that they are kind and caring parents. Yet they bizarrely hide theirs more than what Michael Jackson did. Another big thing, they preach kindness and compassion. And it's not just the way they treat their families, it's very clearly obvious with the amount of reports that they have. They terrorise and bully their own staff, hiding behind NDAs. That's not what they're there for. They spent years trying to destroy the public's perception of the monarchy, the relationship with the Commonwealth countries, with false allegations, and yet they demand that people call them and their children by their royal titles. Meghan is a woman that once made a dig about how she wants women to be linked and not ranked, but make sure you call her the Duchess of Sussex or else. Then, of course, you've got another story that the media have finally picked up after the royal grift exposed this several months back, and that is Harry and Meghan are not declaring all of their donations on their tax returns. They had 6 million gifted to Archewell in the last 2 years, but they only declared 2 million. Now it's expected to be explained on their next return, which is due in November. But I wouldn't hold my breath on that one, considering that their last tax information was 6 months late and Archewell got labelled as delinquent, which when they did pay the late fees and finally hand it in, they then got Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, to bizarrely defend them. Now, on top of that completely bizarre behaviour, you've also got the fact that Harry and Meghan registered their charitable foundation in Delaware. It's not just because of the donations, the 5% that they only have to hand over. It is known as a tax haven, and it's also the same place that they have got 11 other companies that they have set up. All sounds so genuine, doesn't it? Sounds completely above board. I can't understand why people might think that Harry and Meghan and Archewell might be a little bit dodgy. So yes, with all of that listed, I think it's pretty obvious that Archewell should have no concerns about the Royal Foundation treading on its turf. It's like trying to compare the Poundland store or the dollar store with Harrods. There is absolutely no comparison. So guys, that's it for me on this video. I will be back with you very soon. We've got lots of royal news coming out and I will chat to you in the comments. Take care for now. See you soon. Bye.